Welcome to Charter Local Edition. We're in the Capitol building in Helena. My guest is Representative Jessica Karjala. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you being here. Now, you represent the 48th District, and tell us a little bit about the people who elected you.
Thank you. Well, thanks for having me, first of all. I represent House District 48. It's North Central Billings. It runs from the hospital corridor over to Reberg Lane. My district fairly well represents Billings overall. We have lower income families, we have higher income families, lots of working families, and I think that as a result I feel like it's my responsibility to represent all of Billings.
And then tell us a little bit about you. If folks haven't met you or are familiar with your campaign and your politics, can you tell us a little bit about your background?
Sure, you bet. I come from rural Montana. I grew up in Geyser, Montana, which is pretty much central Montana, a very, very small town called Geyser. But I have lived in Billings, Montana the better part of the last 24 years.
Oh, wonderful. And this legislative session, what are your top priorities, the things you'd like to accomplish?
You know, we don't have a lot of money in the budget. You've probably talked to people about that already.
Looks like a tough year.
It's a tough year, unfortunately. But my focus is more on policy as a result. So some of that is looking at solutions-oriented legislation. Some of that is looking forward to protecting some of the good work that we've done in the past.
And then you're particularly interested, especially with the hospital corridor in Billings, of making sure you're doing things for your people, for health care. Tell me a little bit about your concerns about prescriptions and medicine.
Thank you for asking. Yeah, well, I think we're all concerned about rising costs in healthcare. I think as consumers, we all want to know why healthcare is rising so dramatically. One of the areas of trouble, I think, is prescription medications. I have a bill to address the increasing prices of pharmaceutical drugs. My bill just requires some transparency for the pricing of the drug. So if a drug is increased more than twice the consumer price index of medical goods for the previous year, our Attorney General may be able to pursue why the price is increased, particularly what do they attribute the price increase to. Each failure to provide the information requested can lead to a fine up to $10,000.
Ah, all right. And then what else, with all of the unknowns with the new Trump administration, do you think you can proactively do at the state legislature level to help the folks who may or may not have health care in the immediate future?
Thank you for that question. And that's one of the most stressful things about this session. Not knowing what's on the horizon and not knowing what the greater plan is at the federal level leaves us not knowing what our plan of action should be. However, I do know that we want to protect the work that we've done at the state level. I'm particularly proud of the work that we did last session. We were able to put together bipartisan legislation called the HELP Act. It was carried by a senator from Great Falls, and we were able to provide Medicaid expansion for working people in Montana. As a result, the last count I heard that 67,500 Montanans were receiving health care through the HELP Act.
Wow. So that's a big impact of folks who may or may not have that going forward, and that has an impact on the economy depending on which way it goes.
Absolutely. Thank you for asking that, Dana. Prior to passing the HELP Act, we accounted for only 1 out of 20 low-income Montanans receiving health insurance. Now 1 out of every 8, only 1 out of every 8 is uninsured. So we've been able to dramatically decrease the number of uninsured folks in Montana. What that means in terms of a positive economic impact is that those folks who were working without health insurance are now healthier. They may be able to work longer hours. They maybe go from a part-time job to a full-time job. More importantly, though, those jobs that depend on insurance, that depend on health care provision, may be dramatically impacted by repeal of the HELP Act. So when we passed the legislation, it was estimated that it would create between 11,000 to 13,000 jobs. That would be a big contribution to the economy. It would particularly be a big impact to the city of Billings, to the healthcare corridor in Billings. Worse though, in rural Montana, it could mean the difference between our rural healthcare providers being able to provide healthcare services and not. It could make or break their budgets.
Oh, that's concerning because, every state is different. These federal laws impact one state differently than another. And you had spoken to me earlier about how Montana has really benefited in many ways.
It really has.
A recipient state where other states might not have had the benefits.
Exactly. Rather than being a tax-paying state, a lot of people were upset at the idea of passing Medicaid expansion in the state. They were worried that their taxes would be going towards subsidizing other people. However, Montana doesn't have that many taxpayers. With only a 1 million population base, we don't have that many taxpayers. So we are actually a tax beneficiary state. We receive far more taxes at the federal level than we pay, so it would be incredibly unwise for us to repeal the HELP Act.
Well, and then when you might not see those dollars come in, but you certainly notice them if they go out.
We certainly will, and we're feeling that right now. Our budget is a little bit heavily dependent on income taxes. Should we repeal the HELP Act, it will have a big impact, like I said, on employment and on jobs. That will put a big dent in the number of people who are paying income taxes right now. And with a budget that's based heavily on income taxes, that's not something that we want to do.
No, well, thank you so much for coming
and
being with us, and I wish you the best this session.
Thank you.
And we thank you for watching. I'm Dana Cowley. This is Charter Local Edition.
Charter Local Edition has been an exclusive presentation of Charter Communications. View all episodes at localeditiononline.com.